see any missteps now that you look back?
You know what I be telling my dude? I be like, man, now that I'm in charge and the things I'm in charge of, I kind of look at it like it was impossible to do what they did for just two guys.
How we grew up, we're prepared for everything, anything. Penitentiary was honestly like a second home for us. We learned that at a young age, so if we go to jail, we know how to do time.
Bling, bling. Every time I come around your city, bling, bling.
Birdman, the Big Tymers, Juvenile, Manny Fresh, BG, Turk, or most famously Lil Wayne. All names that jump out when New Orleans Cash Money Records is mentioned. Birdman and his brother Slim created a huge movement in the 90s with Cash Money, and in terms of rap music, put New Orleans on the map.
What's crazy about New Orleans is when you have an argument with somebody, you pretty much gotta kill them. And the reason why is...
Founded by Jean-Baptiste Lemaine de Bienville in 1718 as La Nouvelle Orléans, and known worldwide for its French Quarter, New Orleans is a beautiful city with a rich history and a wide mix of cultures, all residing and colliding in one place. As the birthplace of jazz, the city attracts millions of tourists each year for the Mardi Gras celebration and never-ending party. But New Orleans also has one of the most poverty-stricken ghettos in America.
I mean, in terms of the violence, like what were some of the most violent things you saw growing up?
Murder, man. You know, I mean, all the time, you know.
The Magnolia Projects, one of the largest and poorest housing projects in New Orleans, was built in 1941. In 1955, the complex expanded and incorporated an additional 6 city blocks. From 1952 to 1978, under manager Cleveland Joseph Pete, the housing project was officially renamed the C.J. Pete Housing Development, but to this day, it is still known as the Magnolia Projects. As with other projects, conditions deteriorated during the 80s and 90s as the crack cocaine epidemic stormed the city and violent crime skyrocketed.
I just, you know, I tried it, bro, at a DJ, which is like little block parties, you feel me? And, man, it felt so good. Like, this high is a high where you don't even want to, you know, you don't give a fuck about nothing else.
Throughout the early to mid-90s, New Orleans had so many killings that some called the city the murder capital of the United States. The Magnolia Projects were also where the Williams brothers, Ronald and Brian, repped the street to the fullest. Coming up in the hood wasn't pretty, but they made a life for themselves and their families, along with countless others, with their music label Cash Money Records.
If you're a hustler, you're gonna be aggressive. If you play sports, you're gonna be aggressive. I just took the street life and converted it into the music.
Ronald, aka Slim, was born May 23rd, 1964, and Brian was born February 15th, 1969. Their parents were Gladys Brooks and Johnny Williams, an ex-military man and owner of multiple businesses, including a bar and a laundromat in New Orleans. Johnny's bar, Gladys, became a popular hangout for hustlers, drug dealers, pimps, prostitutes, and businessmen. The family lived in a small apartment above the bar. Month after Brian's birth, he didn't have a first name and was simply referred to as Baby. The nickname stuck with him for life until he became known nationally as the hip-hop artist Birdman. In 1975, Gladys died from an illness, and Baby and his siblings spent 2 years living with their uncle in Prince George, British Columbia, followed by 2 years in foster care upon their return to New Orleans. After their father found out they were in foster care, he fought a long legal battle and got full custody of his children. The family moved into the Magnolia Projects. Living quarters were cramped, which led to territorial disputes among the siblings. But Baby developed a close friendship with his stepbrother, Eldrick Wise.
It was maybe like in elementary school somewhere. When he came in, I was like, man, what's going on? You know, who's this? You know, because you know, as youngsters, you know, you be territorial. You know, and when some new people come around, now you like, well, where he gonna sleep at? Where, you know, what's going on with this person? You know.
Wise mentored Baby on street survival and moving as a hustler. The lure of the streets was too strong for the youngster. He remembered seeing the finely dressed and jeweled hustlers who frequented his family's bar. He saw that Magnolia was poor and people didn't have much or nothing at all. and he wanted more. Baby adapted to his environment, and hustling became second nature. We was thugging. That's all we knew. That's how we come up. Baby said in an interview on the Big Facts podcast, "The streets became my life. I chose that shit."
I ain't never heard you deny nor confirm this, that you've been rich since you was about 14, 15
Yeah, I had $1 million at 15 years old. I had 10 cars at 14 years old. I was already stunting with cars as a youngster.
With drug dealing came big money, which led to hood credibility and notoriety. It got him fresh clothes and a better ride. I wanted that, said Terrence Gangsta Williams, a half-brother of Baby and Slim, in an interview with Vlad TV. As a youngster, you see your siblings getting money, dressing fly, people respecting them, the girls calling all the time. I want that. Please remember to like and subscribe. It's free and only takes a second. Thanks. Baby and Eldrick started committing robberies and selling heroin at a young age before they got arrested at 16. At 18, they were arrested again for drug possession and sentenced to 3 years at the Elaine Hunt Correctional Center in St. Gabriel, Louisiana. After he served 18 months of the sentence and was released, Eldrick got murdered. He would be the first of the Williams siblings who fell victim to the street.
But did he choose to leave the drug dealing and the street shit behind early on when he started to see success with the music? Or
Yeah.
was it an extended period where he was kind of managing both?
No, he was like, man, I remember him coming when the Hot Boy, we first come home, he had the last bunch of kilos, look, I'm getting out the game. I'm focusing on this.
Really?
Slim was always the quiet, laid-back one, but the influence of his father, Johnny Williams, was strong. He had a mind for business and thought constantly about how he could make money. To go with Slim's hungry mind for business, his brother Baby had keen hustling instincts. At a young age, they put in work in the pursuit of independence. This attitude had been driven into them by their father. Work hard, get your shit straight, and then you can play. I was born with the mind of a hustler. My pa was one. Ain't nobody taught me nothing. I ain't had no role model in this game. I was my own role model, said Baby Williams.
To take this game and bring it to me. We gonna be here. I ain't no fly-by-night nigga. Gonna be here 2 years, 3 years. I got this shit.
As hip-hop exploded across the United States in the 80s, different regions adopted certain elements and forms depending on the local culture. Miami had the big bass. The East Coast had breakbeats and a hard edge. The West Coast had a laid-back, funk-oriented sound. Meanwhile, in the Deep South in areas like New Orleans, a sound and style called bounce music captured the attention of locals of that generation. Artists like Kevin MCT Tucker Ventry, DJ Jubilee, DJ Jim, Partners in Crime, Hot Boy Ronald, Juvenile, UNLV, and Magnolia Slim were among the first to make hip-hop with a unique New Orleans flavor. Bounce music is a call and response party style of hip-hop that involves dance call-outs that are often sexual. Another name for this style of music was P-poppin' music. A big part of bounce is shouting out or acknowledging the geographical areas, neighborhoods, and housing projects in the New Orleans area.
The drums was hard and it had these crazy breaks where the snares went da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Da, 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 da. Then it would break down into this cool 808 beat.
Bounce is really what we did anyway. We just took it and put it in another little form, said Slim in a keynote interview at Sync Up New Orleans. Bounce is up-tempo records. People like to dance to it, and we do a lot of up-tempo records. Our style of artists that rap, they have a swing to it. What I call a swing, they sing and they rap. That's bounce music. We try to incorporate that all together to make great records. Slim was more the brains behind the scene and preferred to let his brother Baby occupy the spotlight. It was Baby's idea to push bounce music onto the national scene. He knew they could capitalize on the sound. Master P of No Limit and Take 4 Records were already making money with New Orleans hip-hop. Take 4 promoted artists at concerts throughout the Southwest and Gulf. With only 2 companies putting out Bounce, the Williams brothers figured there was room for them to get into this hip-hop hustle. Baby just had to find a way in.
I mean, we was 7 years independent before we got a deal, so I kind of studied the game. I watched Russell Simmons a lot. I watched Puff. I watched Suge. I watched P. I watched James Smith. I like Swab House. Everybody who was doing what I wanted to do. When
Baby was released from prison, he surveyed the local hip-hop scene. He got with his brother Slim, and they studied what was going on and how Master P was doing what he was doing. In 1992, they pressed forward and started their own record label, Cash Money Records. Baby and Slim traveled to nightclubs all over Louisiana to find hot artists to sign.
Yeah, Juvie from the project, right, from the other side. But I heard of him, and one day we had this little show. I was like, man, I want to find this Juvenile. We had Canal and Claiborne. I go, Juvenile right there at the bus stop. I told him, quit his job, you ain't never got to go back. That's when our relationship started and changed his whole life.
So Juvie came after BG and Wayne, pretty much.
My little nephew, Derek, he was really the one. Turk come after that. Turk was kind of the last to come.
So then that was the Hot Boys right there.
Before the internet, getting new hip-hop artists noticed required legwork. It also took tens of thousands of dollars to make or market records that could be distributed to DJs and record shops. Baby claims that by the time he was 15, he already had made $1 million in the streets. This spawned rumors that Cash Money Records was launched with street money, which throughout its long history led the feds to always be sniffing around looking to topple the empire, targeting another set of black men who had come up from the streets. Cash Money's first artist was a local named Kylo G, who released the album The Sleepwalker in 1992. With one rapper in the game, the Williams brothers continued to recruit others. They were determined to find success and make Cash Money the preeminent New Orleans hip-hop label. Baby convinced his friend, a local DJ named DJ Manny Fresh, to become their in-house producer. By the mid-90s, Cash Money Records had become a popular independent label and had a strong fan base in New Orleans and the surrounding areas.
Manny Fresh or Swiss Beats?
Fresh. Love Swiss. Love Swiss. Manny Fresh made 400 degrees. I'm not saying that's Swiss ain't, but again, where I'm from, it's definitely regional. Like 400 degrees? Juvie?
Yeah.
You see me, I eat, sleep, shit, and talk rap. You see that 98 Mercedes on TV? I fought that. I had some felony charges, I fought that. The sent to no return, but still was brought back.
In 1995, Cash Money artist Lil Slim was introduced to a then 12-year-old Dwayne Carter at a block party. And after hearing Dwayne rap, he was so impressed with his talent that he brought him to Baby's attention. Dwayne ended up being signed as the youngest artist on the Cash Money label. Carter, who took the moniker Baby D, was then placed into a group with another young rapper, Lil Doogie, and they were known as the BGs. The name BG, or Baby Gangsta, paid homage to Terrence Gangsta Williams, whose street pedigree was notorious.
Cooperated, and you gave up the 40 murders. Now, you were not the shooter in all 40.
No.
If you were to eyeball how many times you were the shooter, can you say?
15, yeah.
Even Baby decided to get behind the mic, a true hustler making money by any means necessary. And if he could be the one shining in the spotlight, all the better. He originally rapped under the name B32 and performed with 32 Golds. Later, violence claimed the lives of popular Cash Money artists Kilo G, Pimp Daddy, and Yellow Boy. It was a setback for the label, but didn't stem its success. In 1997, Baby D and Lil Doogie renamed themselves Lil Wayne and BG respectively, and that same year, Cash Money signed two other new artists, Turk and Juvenile.
I told Magnolia, Shirley, listen, man, I need you to put me in the game, you know what I'm saying? Whatever we were saying at the time, let them know. So she let them know. They wound up having a DJ in the Magnolia, you know what I'm saying? And Manny Fresh was DJing, Baby and Slim, UNLV, all the Cash Money came to the DJ. I rapped to Slim. I rapped to Slim. He gave me a card, man, and the rest was history after that. So Magnolia Shorty, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been Hot Boy Turk, you know.
The four young rappers were called the Hot Boys, a name they took from a Magnolia Project's street crew that Terrence Gangsta Williams was involved with. This new bounce supergroup took Cash Money Records to a new level. The young Hot Boys released group and solo albums that all went platinum and multi-platinum and contained hit after hit. The phrase bling bling popularized in their songs even made it into the National Rap Lexicon as well as Webster's Dictionary. In the early days, the Hot Boys' Raggedy Tour Bus became an avenue for making drug connects. Terrence Gangsta Williams sometimes traveled with the group so he could buy and sell heroin at hotels along the tour route. While the Hot Boys performed for growing crowds, Gangsta moved massive amounts of heroin amounting to $30,000 per stop. When older brother Slim objected, Gangsta gave him $10,000 to keep quiet and another $100,000 to hold for future buys.
Slim the Godfather. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm not at liberty to speak on Slim too much, right? But we know as the cool, quiet, laid-back Slim, right? Now just picture the TV, the movie scene, Slim being a gangster.
Yeah.
That's what I love and respect the most out of the whole Cash Money clique.
Please remember to like and subscribe. It's free and only takes a second. Thanks. Slim ended up spending this money on tour expenses, which led to rumors that Gangsta was investing drug money in Cash Money Records, a claim he denied. When he was later arrested for plotting a murder and engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, the feds offered Gangsta a 3-year sentence to snitch on Cash Money Records and the Williams brothers. He kept his mouth shut and received a life sentence plus 20 years.
And how much time did you do overall?
23 years and 10 months. I've always wanted to be a gangster. I've always looked up to the gangsters. I've always seen the respect, the women, the materialistic stuff that they had, so I've always craved that.
They would even call him up while on tour and let him use his prison phone time to talk to celebrities they were partying with. My time went by with ease, recalled Terrence, though it wasn't without hiccups. When Slim and Baby found out he was dealing drugs behind bars, they cut him off for 6 months. With the feds looking for any way to bust Cash Money Records, there could be no perception that the label was funding a drug enterprise. They had to avoid anything illegal. After the Universal deal, Cash Money Records had a highly profitable run. They reinvented themselves and the game and had hit after hit. As artists on their label came and went, Cash Money Records still shined. After the release of the popular album Birdman, Baby took the Birdman moniker and stayed on top with solo albums, new groups, and remixes. He was a mogul who also rapped and performed.
That lifestyle, I just ain't know no better, so I was in it. And once I was incarcerated and I read the Bible, it changed my insight about life and what I wanted to do with my life. When I came home, I did something different and I started my company at 16 years old, making 17. I started Cash Money Records.
Every hip-hop artist across the country and around the world wanted to collaborate with Cash Money, which led the roster to expand and include not only rappers, but singers who range from Lil Mo to superstar Tina Marie. Cash Money Records also moved into films and books with Cash Money Films and Cash Money Content. Of all Cash Money artists, Lil Wayne was the breakout star. He performed at the Grammys and took home a few awards himself. Wayne also performed at the Super Bowl and routinely appeared on top hip-hop artist lists as one of the best spitters in the game. As an entrepreneur, he became president of Cash Money Records before branching off with his own label, Young Money Entertainment, which introduced the world to future stars Drake and Nicki Minaj.
You know what I mean? When Drake music was brought to me from the homie Jazz, my bro, it was about rap. And then one day I heard, like, what the was that? And I was like, and I think it was on the hook. And I remember asking Mac, like, who that is on the hook? He was like, that's him too.
Terrence Gangsta Williams was released in 2022 after serving 23 years of his life plus 20 sentence when he cooperated with the feds, giving them information on some unsolved murders. This snitching alienated Gangsta from his namesake BG and sibling Birdman. When Birdman put up money for Gangsta's legal defense, he had set down rules. His stepbrother violated those rules, and the streets don't tolerate snitches. That sentiment pervaded the New Orleans hip-hop community.
Take my stripes away because you gave yours away, bro. I'm a real stand-up BR, dog. No PC in me. You made that choice to ruin all the relationships with your people, with everybody, because so many people glorified you, bro.
You know, I'm pushing this snitching lives don't matter. Snitching lives don't matter.
Terrence Gangsta Snitch Williams. He a big snitch, a big fat booty ass Muslim snitch.
How y'all can?
A5, he speak up on it himself. I held blood down. We got it in early on. You hear me? I'll never disrespect Beezel in no kind of way. You hear me, 5? I like that to be a whole nother conversation, and we just speak about that. Me and you, we could come back and we do that one-on-one with everybody.
The feds never did pin an indictment on Baby and Slim. Unlike a lot of the hustlers who reached for the fame and the glory of thug life, Birdman left it behind. He stayed focused and achieved great success in the music industry. And in doing so, he remains one of the few street legends to move into legitimate business and not end up incarcerated or killed.
What's crazy about New Orleans is when you have an argument with somebody, you pretty much got to kill them. And the reason why is New Orleans is one of them situations where they don't care who you with or where you at or what you into. When I catch you, I'm gonna kill you. I don't care who with you. They shouldn't have been with you. And that's what I think is real up about my city.